Hello everyone, my name is Tony Kwan. I am the Trophy Wine Hunter, and welcome to part 4 of my Starting from the Bottom wine series. This is for wine beginners, starting from the bottom. This is again part 4. You can watch my other three parts. And this is the last one for a little while. I'm gonna wait for some people to watch this. I'm gonna wait for at least 50 people to watch this before I continue on, because I want to make sure that the people are interested in this. So if you're watching this, if you enjoy the series, please comment, please give me some feedback, give me some encouragement, tell your friends to watch it, subscribe. Hopefully this is useful to people. Okay, today I'm going to talk about wine tasting and how to wine taste. Again, it's a pretty simple topic. We don't want to make it too complicated, and don't try to compare yourself to wine critics and wine sommeliers that have like 15 different flavors. And you'll notice in my kind of tastings, I don't focus too much on the actual taste, like notes of the wine too much. I give you kind of a brief thing. I focus more on the history and interesting things about the wine. The reason being is it doesn't matter how many tastes that I can find in a wine. If I can taste 15 flavors or 15 aromas in a wine, if you can't pick them out, it's no use, right? That's just me showing off. That's no good. Really, and the reason that you want to taste and want to have notes on a wine is, one, for your own benefit, because if you just taste the wine and say, oh, it's good, then when you go out to purchase that again, or you want to pair it with food, you can't remember, what taste they were, so you can't really pair it with anything, or it's not the right occasion because all you remember is it's good. And the second thing is to share information with other people. So again, when you say, hey, I really like this wine, and other people say, oh yeah, what did you like about it? And you just say it's good. That's not helpful. So it's really just to share information. And what I would suggest for anyone who is a beginner, when you do taste wines, take notes. Okay, take notes and put them on apps. There's lots of free apps out there. The one that I use is Vivino. It's free. Just put your notes on there. And the reason why you want to put notes is that no one's memory is that great, and you're probably over your lifetime to taste thousands and thousands of wines. It's impossible for you to remember every wine. So this is a way that you can jog your memory about that wine. Some will be more notable, some will be less notable. At least you can do that. And it's really interesting when you do this. In general, at least what I find is that they're very similar tones, and I will find similar tastes. Or with some wines, they will evolve. So it's very interesting. It's good for you to kind of do yourself. So, anyways, let's go to the tasting. So I've got a white wine today and a red wine. So the white I'm actually tasting is the Cloudy Bay 2019 Sauvignon Blanc, which I will have reviewed and will be on my YouTube channel. And then this is the Summit Heights from China. So this is also going to be on another video. So my system is a very simple system. It's what they call a 1-2-3 method. Okay, it's not, you don't see this anywhere else, but really it's useful for beginners because that's all you need, right? So what this means is you should make one note to yourself about the color or the look of the wine, two notes about aromas, and then three about taste. That's really simple, right? That's all you need for a wine at a basic level. Of course, when you get more into wine, that will be more important. But with basic wines, quite frankly, that's all you really need. And again, you can't expect when when you buy a $9 or $10 wine that you can have 15 different tastes in that. That's not going to happen. Okay, you can smell it, you can taste it, you can air it all day long. It's not going to have that. Okay, it's a simple wine, right, for $9 or $10. And so as you get more into wines and you get into more complex wines, yes, you have more taste, but no one other than sommeliers and master of wines are going to do 15 tastes. So don't get intimidated. It's also not a checklist. It's not you comparing it. So if you take a tasting note from someone else and you don't get that, it's not like you're wrong. Everyone has different expressions of what they feel and what they taste. Okay, one thing you need to know is that a lot about taste has to do with your other senses. That means your smell and your the actual visuals of the wine. So they've done many tests before where they've blindfolded people, and they didn't tell them the color wine. A lot of people, even experts, couldn't figure out the wine. Either it was red or white. They kind of plugged their noses. They couldn't tell the wine. And that's because a lot of other senses that you have around you give you perspective. And so that really helps. So if I know what a wine is, it's very easy to, for instance, if it's a Sauvignon Blanc, I kind of know as a person that drinks wine what I'm supposed to taste. That's really easy because I've already kind of made it easy for myself. I know kind of what type of flavors there should be. Much more difficult for beginners. Likewise, if I visually see a wine and I smell it, I have certain expectations. And generally, people that's how like masters of wine and do that, right? They can actually visually see a wine. If you take away their smell, their sense of smell, and their sight lines, their accuracy rate of judging a wine goes down to less than 50% for sure. And anyone would tell you that, right? So that's why you have to make notes, okay? So when you're tasting a wine, make sure you hold it by the stem, okay? Don't hold it by the glass. Again, two reasons for this. One, for white wines, it might heat up the wine. And two, just aesthetically, you get fingerprints, or you get things, prints on your glass, and it's really hard to tell anything about the color. Or, is the wine actually foggy, or is it your fingerprint, right? So that's why you kind of hold it like this. So if you've been watching Bling Empire on Netflix, right? You look at those rich people, look at how they grab their wine, right? So they grab it and so to me, they're wine drinkers. They're not wine enthusiasts, okay? They have a lot of money. They must drink a lot of expensive wines, but they're wine drinkers. And so that's the difference, okay? So anyways, hold it by the stem and just swirl, okay? Swirling again gives you the aroma. So again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna taste, and you're gonna, it kind of seems gross, but you do have to kind of do it like mouthwash. So you have to at least have the wine in your mouth minimum 3 to 5 seconds. So people that just drink it and sip it down, it's impossible. It's impossible to taste anything because the receptors in your taste buds don't have enough time to go to the brain, right? So that's why, when they always say when you swallow quickly when it's bad, it's something you don't want to drink. Yeah, because you can't taste it, right? So this is not medicine, okay? This is wine. You're supposed to be pleasurable. So take 3 to 5 seconds. That's what you need. It's impossible to do little sips and take a good mouthful, right? I see a lot of people just do little sips. It's impossible to taste this way, right? You should take a good sip, roll it around your mouth, get all the sensors in your mouth because you have different taste buds in different parts of your tongue. So you have to kind of get the wine touching all of those receptors. And what I generally do is I try to take at least 2 tastes of a wine, right? You have initial taste, but sometimes it could be because there's something else in your mouth, or you haven't had food in your mouth. So don't kind of make some initial impressions, and then the second taste before you really kind of making some determination about the wine, okay? So again, on this one, I'm just going to do this. It's hard to see, the exact color online, but for me, I would say this is, most wine should be clear. Okay, so if it's not clear, that's a defective wine. I'd say 99%. So that's not really a good description. So I would say this is kind of straw yellow. So again, you can say yellow. It's better if you have a descriptor. The more descriptive is better. So that's all I want. Straw yellow. That's my one. That's my sight. Okay. Now I'm gonna smell it. 2 aromas. So the easiest thing is to try and do either floral or fruity. Try to distinguish that first. So, and some of them are both, which in this case it is. So it's both floral and fruity. So, but to me it smells citrusy and like grass, fresh cut grass. So, but that's really specific. You can always just say fruity or citrusy, right? Fruity and citrusy are very similar, but again, as you get better, you'll get more descriptor. I would try to get at least one descriptor that's much more specific, like one descriptor that's a bit general, like fruity, citrusy, acidic, and then one descriptor that's kind of just things that pop into your mind, like lemons, okay, so citrus or a specific fruit. And if you're wrong, you're wrong, but that's what you kind of taste. It should be fairly obvious. You shouldn't have to think too hard about it because we're only talking about two things, right? Okay, and then we taste. Yeah, so it's kind of gross, you can see, but that's okay. You don't want to slurp like that, then don't do it, but just roll it around your mouth quietly. That's totally acceptable for most people that drink wine. They do understand that. Don't be ridiculous and don't be slurping up like as loud as you can to attract attention. But generally in a restaurant it's fine because there's other people talking. They don't really care what you're doing, and it's not too ridiculous. Um, and if you feel self-conscious about it, then don't slurp. The only reason I do that is just to pass air, pass oxygen, try to oxygenate the wine, and it's just a habit, quite frankly. After a while, I just do it all the time, right? But it's totally acceptable within people that are wine enthusiasts. Again, if you're self-conscious, then you can do it quietly, okay? But that's the best way to kind of drink wine. So 3 tastes. So for me, it's acidic. It has apricots, and it has, again, almost herbs, like grass. So it could be the same thing, but that's just comes off my mind, right? And again, you can get into more, but at least if you get 3 in, you'll find it easier. Sometimes you have more, right? And sometimes you have more to say, but that's just a start. And it can be just little things that just helps you to kind of put that down. So for this wine, I would say, if I was writing this down for myself, I would say it's a yellow color, um, good acidity, it smells of citrus notes, um, and basically the acidity is good, and nectarines and fresh cut grass. That's a good note, right? At least that kind of reminds me of something about wine. It doesn't have to be complicated. Okay, let's go to the red wine. I've got a little bit bigger glass. Okay, so again, I'm not doing full reviews, and again, it doesn't matter. It's for yourself. It really is not to impress other people. You'll get better at it, but as you get and I think people just get intimidated. They go, "Oh, I gotta find things out." That's why I try to make it easy. It's 1, 2, 3. It's very simple, right? And it shouldn't take you a lot of time. It shouldn't stress you out. It's a start, and it's a good thing to do to just um, get the practice into it. And again, you'll start describing things a lot more than that. That's great, but it doesn't. Then at least you have something to say about the wine instead of "it's great." I like it. That doesn't really do that much for people, and doesn't do very much for yourself, quite frankly. Okay. So this is the red wine. This is the Summit from Silver Heights in China, in Nanjing province. So this is kind of interesting because it's the first time I've smelled this wine. So on the color, I would say it's kind of ruby red to me. Okay. Or you could say blood red. To me, it's quite dark red. On the smell, I get 2 smells. I get Chinese medicine in a good way, and you can kind of always say in parentheses good way, not bad Chinese medicine, like very herbal. And I also get a little bit of cedar. So those are the 2 big things that pop out. And again, as you see, I'm not taking a lot of time on this. I'm not worried. There's other things, obviously, that I smell, but I'm trying to keep it simple. Those are the things that pop out to me right away. And there's fruit, obviously, but these are the 2 things that pop out to me. And then really, those are the things the first things, it's almost like word association. the first thing that pops in your mind, that's what you should write down. And you can go back and smell it a couple of times just to make sure that that's what you smell. But yeah, it's really herbaceous, this wine. So, and almost like medicinal, almost like Chinese medicine with a bit of flowers, right? So again, now I'm starting to do more, but I've already got my two, so I feel much more comfortable kind of saying other things too, right? So, and you'll see this happens a lot, right? If you just say to yourself, don't put your pressure, I just want one sight, two aromas, three taste notes, you'll know, you'll start doing way more than that. Okay, so now we're gonna taste this. Wow, this is neat, actually. I'm gonna take a second taste before and again, sometimes don't pressure yourself. Take some time. I've got some thoughts already, but I'm just processing. But take another taste, because sometimes you'll be and the thing with a lot of beginners is they got too many things rolling in their mind. They're looking for too much, yeah, and it's all confusing. Just focus like maybe on the first one taste, and then on the second taste, another taste, and maybe the third taste, another taste. So don't try to, because you get confused, right? If you're looking for 8 or 9 different things, it's all gets scrambled. If you're saying, oh, I just want to find one thing to say about this wine, it's much easier, right? By the way, this will be a very interesting review, because this is a wine doesn't taste like any other type of wine I've tasted, and in a good sense. I'm not saying it's terrible. I taste I don't know if this is the right term. It's a haw flakes, like those. It's almost like a prune, like prune. Let's say prunes. I taste prunes. I taste herbs, and then I taste tea leaves. It tastes, and so those are 3, right? So I've done it, but now I'm expanding because I'm so excited about the wine that I've got other things to say about it, right? So it really tastes like almost like Lapsang Souchong tea. I don't know if you've had that, but the aroma and the taste of it, it's kind of pungent, but in a good way. Like so it's very oriental in taste, quite frankly. It's very interesting. So that's kind of how I taste. And again, my point here today is really, don't get intimidated. You know, when you see notes and people have 15 different tastes and they go on and you say, I didn't get that. Don't worry. You're not a master of wine. Don't put that type of pressure on yourself. And even if we were, every master of wine would taste different things in the wine. They might come up with certain core things, but they all taste different for sure, because they have different palates. So don't put that type of pressure on yourself. Anyways, I hope this has been useful. If it has, please comment. Please give me some encouragement. Please have your friends watch and have them subscribe. And I hope to get at least 50 views, and then I'll continue on with this series. Until next time, happy drinking.